What's going on, guys? This is your host for this week, Manny, followed by my co-host
Ricky?
on the No Name Podcast this week. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Anchor, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Ricky, how you doing this week?
That's a interesting intro, but
Yeah. I just went for it.
let's just say it's been a week. It's been a weekend.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all that stuff.
A lot of
Um
information.
uh as you know, we are a man down. So and
Man down, man down.
the thing
I
is
thought of
about
Call of Duty.
when it comes to me and Manny, um sports. There's gonna be a lot of sports to talk about this today because a lot of happening.
Yeah. If it's just me and Ricky, you're either gonna hear sports or wrestling. That's pretty much
I mean gaming
what.
also, but then again, it's like
And gaming, yeah.
stuff. But yeah, uh, whew,
So the NHL's back. That's a thing.
NHL's back.
After I want to
Basketball.
say 4 months.
No, basketball. Okay, MLB, base. So baseball, basketball, hockey are all back.
Yes,
And it
they are doing the
okay.
bubble.
So baseball, you're used to this because they mostly play almost every single day. Hockey and basketball, not really. They don't play it
Yeah,
on a constant daily basis when there's like so many, and then there's like a lot of games on those days and all that stuff.
yeah.
Because like I watched the restart for basketball this past Thursday.
Breaking news! Breaking news! The Penguins just scored. So the Penguins are winning right now. It is period two.
I
6 minute left. I'm
I
sorry,
love
I just got that right now.
I love the fact that you brought up breaking news on and this even though this is gonna be posted on 2 days later
Oh
because
yeah,
we were recording this on a Monday and all that stuff.
yeah. So on Wednesday, the Penguins just scored.
If they or if no, I'm not gonna ask. We're not gonna jump.
Yeah, yeah. So as of right now, if you're listening to this, and I'm just gonna bring this into let you know, Ricky.
Mhm.
So earlier before we started, I told him that the Rangers and I want to say I told you the Jets played. So the
Mhm.
Hurricanes beat the Rangers today,
Mhm.
4-1. So that makes I want to say they beat the Rangers about 2 days ago as well. So there should be 2-0.
Love,
And then the Jets just beat the Flames today, so that makes it a tie series.
loving the play by play for something that I'm probably gonna less care about honestly out of the ones that restarted.
Yeah. I
So
figured. I mean, you're not really that much of a hockey fan, so I
it's
figured we just get this out of the
it's
way at the
not
beginning.
it's not that I'm not much of a hockey fan. It's just the fact that it's like one of my team is not in there, and then two, I don't know much because I haven't paid attention to the season before it got
Oh,
postponed
okay, okay,
and all that
that makes
stuff
sense.
and everything. So it's like literally like just before we recorded, I was like literally like looking through of like how the format goes. And all I know it's like you have playing teams, you have the four top seeds from each conference, and I'm just like
Yeah.
we'll just move on.
And then the draft. That's a thing. Anyways.
Let's not get started with that. Let's not get started with that 'cause that was a
Yeah.
discussion.
So as of right now, like I said, Hurricanes beat the Rangers 4-1. Jets beat the Flames 3-2. Um, the Lightning beat the Capitals 3-2 in a shootout. Mind the dog. Um, the Knights beat the Stars today 5-3. Penguins are currently playing the Canadians. As of the time of we're filming this podcast, it's in period two. Penguins are winning. And then the Blackhawks play the Oilers later on today at 7:30. So that's just your 3 day late hockey news.
Oh, my bad. Four of the five major leagues have started their starts. MLS started like back early.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Their
really?
current yeah, they did how theirs work was a round robin kind of style
Oh,
thing, and then right now they're doing like knockout. They're doing playoffs like knockout,
oh, okay.
um, and all
Are
that stuff.
the earthquakes in it
They
still?
are officially eliminated as of last week.
Dang it. I don't even watch MLS. I'd be
And all that stuff. Um,
annoyed.
Basketball started Thursday, and how theirs is So there is. It's pretty much they're continuing off what they had, when they postponed the season, but not all the teams are there. Like on the West, you have only the top 12, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, and then on the East Coast, in the East Conference, it's like the top 9 or 10, if I remember correctly. Um, and pretty so and then,
Uh,
so pretty
what
much
I
it's
do
just
know is we beat the Trailblazers yesterday.
that's totally not what I'm towards, anyways. But pretty much it's pretty much what it is the top seeds are pretty much just making sure they get their spots, while tight race between like for the final seed and all that stuff. Pretty much on the other end. That's it. And then
Okay, so it
playoffs,
makes more sense than what
and then
NHL's doing.
playoffs begin right after that.
Huh,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes so much more
Say
sense.
out of all the restarts, besides MLS, you can't call MLB. I'll get some of you. Yeah, the NBA's is the one that makes sense because it's pretty much a continuation. Always,
Yeah,
it's just the fact that teams that weren't doing well and weren't in playoff contention at all, they're just not in it.
yeah.
Awesome.
So theirs makes way more sense than
Mhm.
whatever NHL decided.
Yeah.
Reason.
Well,
Uh,
I theirs makes sense, but at the same
but
time,
it's like, why?
it's like how why would you do it like that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
It's
that's
a little.
I mean, I think MLS did their sounded simple also. It's just that I didn't pay attention to it as much as I should have.
Yeah.
And of course MLB theirs only makes sense is overall makes sense because they never start their season and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then again, I don't think there's gonna be a season to finish. How in the world? So because like here's the thing, and here's also the other thing about what makes MLB so scary that there's not gonna be a season. They're not doing a bubble system like the other three
Yeah. Why was that not a
and all that stuff.
thing?
There were talk like so when talks of doing restarts for all these leagues, the only they were the only league that was like we're not gonna do a bubble and all that stuff. It was
That was
pitched.
weird to me.
It was pitched to do one and all that stuff. Pretty much all teams on the West Coast would be in Arizona. All the East Coast teams would be in Florida because that's where mainly like spring training stuff is located at, anyways.
Yeah.
And then of course they will go into and then they'll do like games and the October would lead into playoffs and all that stuff But it's the players decided not option out of that and all that stuff. And this is where it's gonna get crazy after this. So it's like as of right now, and it's mostly on the East Coast because we have heard nothing on the West Coast from the West Coast teams. So far, we have two or three teams now that have that have players or coaches that tested positive for coronavirus and all that stuff. So it's like it's already that bad. Like because there's already been games postponed and everything like that. Not and it's like they're trying to figure out there's plans of doing double headers, 7 inning double headers. Oh, let me phrase that and all that stuff to make up for those games and all that stuff. And it's just like
Yeah.
you had a bubble option, but
Yeah. Like
there was a bubble.
I,
There was an
I
option
was.
for a bubble, but
Yeah.
it was the players. Let me say that again. It was the players.
Oh,
that
the
denied
players
that.
said no.
The players said
That's
no to
weird.
that and all that stuff. You would think
That's
in a situation we're in and all that stuff. Because like here's the thing, here's the thing also because like of course stadiums are empty and all that stuff. There's nobody there and all that everything like that. It's just most likely the teams, the players, and all that stuff. But apparently, from what I've seen, because I've only watched A games because I'm an A's fan and all that stuff. I haven't watched any of the other games and all that stuff. But apparently, from what I've been seeing, also, as far as like players are not social distancing when it's game day and all that stuff. Some are wearing. You see some players not wearing. You see players not wearing masks. They're not like split. They're not social distancing like
distance.
in
Yeah.
in the dugout and all that stuff and everything like that. And it's so crazy and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And like I said, it's 3 teams from the East Coast that's so far has tested positive. Nothing so far
Yeah.
on the
Nothing
West
on the
Coast.
West Coast.
And all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like, but it's still at the same time. It's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Like I know NHL both bubbles in
All three, all
Edmonton and Toronto are completely negative on
yeah.
both bubbles,
So
and they've been getting tested every day, every
so
person.
yeah. So the leagues that did do bubbles, MLS, NBA, NHL, negative. And
Yeah,
they've done a lot. Like there's like they are having that you cannot go anywhere. If you have to like quarantine and all that stuff and everything
yeah.
like that. There's like
I believe.
in the NBA
What?
specifically and all that stuff, they have like these little wristbands where it's like it does like contact tracing and all that stuff. Like so it's like
Oh,
if
okay.
like if there's and there's like where they can like know if you're doing your stuff, if you're like gonna test positive or not and everything like that. If you like scan the bracelet, it lets you know if you test and all that stuff. Or if you feel like you're like having the virus and all that stuff. Like, dude, it's like you would think when you hear it, like when you hear like all this stuff, you're like, why? Why are you doing all this stuff? But at the same time, it's like this is worth it. This is needed and all that stuff.
Yeah, like Boston Bruins goaltender. I hate to come back to NHL, but it's just that's the only thing I've been keeping up with. Um,
Also,
um, Tuukka Rask, Bruins goaltender, actually had a quarantine for 2 days because
is
he had a cough
uh
on Monday. I want to say, I think it was Monday because it was after the Flyers game. Yeah, so
uh
that the Flyers game was on Sunday. So on Monday, he had a quarantine for 2 days,
mm,
and he had in order to come back with to practice and stuff, he had to get two negative tests in the same day or something, or one after another. I think something
well.
like that.
So wait, so that they would have so if something like that happens, like say if like they've been exposed or anything like that, they would only have to stay quarantined for 2 days.
No, it was only he was only quarantined for 2 days while they tested him. Like if they came back
Uh,
positive, I'm pretty sure he would have to stay quarantined.
but
Like
what
I
if
don't think they would let him back.
in a situation like I said, like say he happened to get exposed, or like say if he stepped out, he was outside of the bubble area or something like that.
I
You
believe
know what I'm
that
saying?
they would escort him out.
Would they just keep, or would they have him self quarantine for like a certain amount of time?
They would. I don't know. They probably. I
Because
feel like
like,
they'd escort him out because they're all in the same hotel.
mhm,
Well, no. So the players are in one hotel.
mhm,
Well, I know about the Edmonton one. So in
uh,
the Edmonton one, all the players are in the Marriott, and then across the street is where all the officials, all the trainers, and all the other people that aren't players are staying at the one across the street.
okay,
So I feel like they would probably just escort him out of the hotel in like a
uh,
safe way,
uh,
um, either with like masks or probably like like one of those hazmat suits that I saw at the beginning of COVID, like the spread.
mhm, mhm,
Like people were like escorted out with hazmat suits and stuff.
yeah.
I feel like they would probably just do that, but then I don't think they would have them stay there in quarantine because there's a chance that it can get out of the hotel. I feel like you know what I mean, out of that
Well,
room.
well, because like here's like in NBA, if like say, if someone like happened to leave the bubble, step out or anything like that, they would have to be self quarantined for at least 14 days on stuff. Like they will stay in the bubble, but they have to self quarantine them. They have to be self quarantined for those 2 days and all everything. So it's
Yeah.
like hearing them like having them. I don't know if I heard that correctly. It's like they're kind of like kicking them out of the bubble. Is like, ooh, that's a little way.
That's yeah, like be gone. No, but it makes
No.
sense because you have so many players there, and like you're barely starting to get back up, so it would
But
make sense to kick
yeah,
them out of the bubble.
well, yeah, but
Like
it's
I
like,
wouldn't really blame them.
but that's the thing though. It's like at the same time, it's like if they happen, like I said, it's like I don't know how the room situation will work. If they're like if it's just one person, two people, if they're someone
Yeah, I
sharing the
don't
room
know
or something like
either.
that. I don't know if it's like that because I think NBA they don't have they like I think players have their own rooms. I don't know. I don't remember correctly and all that stuff. So it's like that makes sense for them to self quarantine them because they're stuck in the room and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
they're not leaving the room until like everything's good to go and all that stuff, not for that stuff. And then like I said, it's like that because it has in the NBA. It did happen. Like there were a couple players that did leave. Um, one actually left to pick up his DoorDash order, all that stuff, and like I said, he ended up having to get quarantined for he had to self quarantine for for a long time.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
This was before the restart happened and all that stuff. And then at the end of the day, right before everything happened, NBA said everyone tested negative for Corona and all that stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
it works and all that stuff. It
Yeah.
works. You know all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
Bubble.
it's
I
like
mean, the bubble works. I mean,
the bubble works.
as
It
long as
literally.
you're negative going in, I feel like it's pretty much the safest thing
Well,
you can be
but
in there.
then here's the thing also that's like because I've been like paying attention to the baseball side of it too, with since the teams testing positive. Is it also because of the fact of baseball does carry more players and coaches than the other three leagues do in a way?
No, I don't think so.
Because like you have like
Um.
it's a baseball has a 30-man roster
Yeah.
and all that stuff, so it's like you not only it's like your players, your bench, your rotation, your bullpen, and all that stuff, along with your coaches. Alice is like NBA, for instance, it's only 12 players and a few coaches, depending
Yeah.
on all that stuff. And I think NHL, I don't know if it's the same, all that stuff.
NHL's 23 players. I want to say. Oh, 23 man limit. Yeah.
Okay,
But then you also have you have main head coach,
yeah, coaches.
um, and then you also have like goaltending coach, and then you have like defensive coach, offensive
Yeah,
coach,
yeah, those
and
kind of coaches.
then you have the four refs, then you have um the stick guy, which is the one that makes sure all the sticks are okay, and then you have the actual jersey guy that like makes sure all the jerseys are good. Then you
Yeah.
have the skate sharpener guy. So you have so many different people. I feel like also NBA has the same amount of people. I feel like
Well,
because
like,
you
but
have
then
like
again,
all those people
so
that help get things going.
yeah, but then again, it's like say if this is like regular circumstances, like regular, like each team is gonna have one of those kind of teams, like for like it's how you explain that for hockey and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
jerseys and all that stuff. You would think in the bubble there's only one team to do that for every single team. All that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they can do that, but
I
then
don't think.
also like each team has their own thing. Like cause like maybe somebody doesn't maybe this guy knows that for the players like their skates sharpened a certain way or like they like their sticks done a certain way, cut a certain way. I
Yeah,
know
I
most
would think.
players do it themselves,
Yeah, but I
but
would.
so I feel like yeah,
I feel like it would. They'll probably mostly more. There's like one universal person for those kind of things. So
yeah,
it's like the fact that because like especially if each team brought their own one, that would just cause more. I just think that would just cause too much issues and all that stuff with being within the bubble and all that. I think having like maybe one or two and all that stuff within the bubble at least maybe
yeah,
and all that stuff and that would make more
like one
sense.
for away team, one for home team.
Yeah. All that stuff like that would make more sense, or maybe four. That way you have someone to like back you up at least and all that stuff, back them up and everything
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So it's like
so you have
have
yeah, that makes sense to have four.
yeah, because it's like I don't I yeah that cause like I said those are, and then I'm sure they can probably figure out what those skaters need specifically for their skates and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah,
Like it's like they probably learned it before restart happens and all that stuff and all that so
most
that way they get
likely
better. That way it's more easier to do that stuff.
like preferences and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's like but I think it's like it's I I think we can agree for the fact the bubble works and all that stuff.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
And then the fact that the fact that baseball decided to do the whole they're doing it in their own stadiums. The most teams are gonna most likely travel and all that stuff
Yeah.
in order to go
Then you
to
got the
play
whole
these games
airport thing.
and all that stuff. So it's like it just makes it wonder about like how are they being careful with the virus itself, like because you're not just this, you're flying and all that stuff. Are you staying in the
Yeah,
hotel room and everything
yeah,
like that, or it's like, is it worth it to go into the like, because like I said, you're going to different arenas, so most likely you're going into a clubhouse, an away clubhouse where a previous team was just there and all that stuff, and is that
yeah.
club
Was it sanitized?
is it being sanitized and all this other stuff and everything like that and all that stuff, and it's like it's just like, oh my god, there's a lot of this and that within doing that kind of
Yeah, there's a
situation
lot
that
of
they're in
pieces to it.
and all that stuff. And it kind of scares me because with one league in particularly that has barely said anything with this whole virus, that's the NFL.
No, they released that they're gonna have masks on their helmets,
No,
which is horrible idea.
but you do realize, like, as of today, was it today or the day I saw this video? Um, I don't know how long it was. 43 players have opted out of the season. This season, 43
At
players. Now
least we have Antonio Brown.
he,
That's-
he if he gets signed, he's suspended for 8 games
yeah.
and all that stuff. And all that stuff.
Honestly, I don't even think he's coming. I don't think he's coming back.
Everyone says everyone's gonna say, oh, he's gonna come back. Like, bro, he
I
comes
don't
back.
think he is. I think he's staying retired.
He's not even
To be honest.
retired. He's just not playing. That's the thing.
I thought he was retired.
No, he's just not playing.
I thought he.
That's it.
Oh.
No, that stuff. It's just, oh my god. And then it's like, uh, who is it? That's most. Little Beckham said he's not probably gonna play this season too, and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, everything. But the fact that you already have 43 players before even, I don't even think training camp has even started. I don't even know that for sure. All that stuff.
Oh, summer league and stuff like that.
Like, no, just training camp. Because
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly, there's no preseason games.
Oh wow.
All that stuff. Everything else is more like, what if this? What is this? What is this gonna happen? And everything like that. There's a lot because like a lot from the league itself is like, we don't know anything about strict rules and like that's actually covering this stuff. Like how we just mentioned about MLB, it's like our away locker room is gonna get sanitized, or this is gonna happen, or anything like that, or like teams in general are like, what are they doing to make sure this works? It's been kind of hush hush in a way for that stuff, at least. Like a team traveling, like what's happening there and all that stuff. And the thing is like NFL's every Sunday and all that stuff. So like teams that are gonna travel, like you're like Sunday's done, fly back. You're most likely flying back to where you're from and everything. Then you have to fly back later, on 2 days later, and all that stuff and everything like that. What are you doing? What are they doing that Friday, Saturday? So that way, are they gonna go to the practice room, stay in the hotel, and all that stuff and everything like that, and all that stuff? It's like when Sunday comes.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I feel like NFL has one of the easiest schedules to even do, as in bubble wise. I feel like they have one of the easiest ways to do it.
Does
I
it
feel like
really?
that's just kinda.
Can you figure like the thing is there a way to do a bubble situation for the NFL? A bubble.
Well, you
Like,
can have the whole you can have like maybe two bubbles. So you can have
2 bubbles make sense for this
yeah.
team particularly. Yeah, for this, especially if you're starting a season, because like they haven't started. Like I said, this is one of the other leagues that didn't start their season, besides the MLB. So doing a two bubble is a good idea. Now, how like is it going to be like West Coast teams one side, East Coast teams on the other, so that way
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
that way it balances, or are you going to do something? How about like how many conferences are in this? Like you're doing like there's 6 of them, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Divisions. I mean,
Yeah.
East, West. No, 4. There's 4 each. My bad. 4. So that's a total of 8. You can probably do. How about do 4 bubbles? That way you have.
Yeah, I could see 4 bubbles working out.
North.
I feel like 2 bubbles would be a lot easier to manage, though.
2 would be easier to manage, yes, and all that stuff. But you're dealing with possibly a total. How many teams are in the league? 32. I'm correct.
Yes.
You're looking at 17 teams on each bubble. If I counted that correctly? No, I didn't. Not. 16 teams. My bad. 16 teams.
Yes, it'd be 16 teams.
16 teams on each bubble, and all that stuff. And now you have to figure out scheduling. You have to figure out where they're going to stay, where they're going to do this, and all that stuff. How practicing is going to work, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And like we said, they play on a weekly basis. These teams play on a weekly basis. Now, also, thing is about football, they play every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. And all that stuff.
Correct.
And all that stuff. Sometimes Saturday, depending on and all that stuff. And they play on Thanksgiving. So
Yes.
you know, so
You get two Thanksgiving games.
you know, it's
The
three,
Thanksgiving games I feel like would be easier. Oh, you get three? Let's
three,
get two.
always three.
Well, then
Let's make three.
if they did the Thanksgiving game, it'd probably be like maybe one bubble gets one game, and then the other bubble gets maybe like a double header kind of thing. I feel like
Yeah, so it's like you have to figure out, or you just regular, or just in general, like would having a Thanksgiving game be? So would you still want it? Would they still do a Thanksgiving game? If it goes to the doubles
yeah. Or
and
like
all that
if you
stuff?
want to, you can just have the two, one in each bubble.
Well, because like
Maybe cut down to two.
here's the thing: you can do, say if we do the whole two bubble system, probably do games Saturday and Sunday
Yeah,
and all that stuff. That way nothing, because that just doing it on one day just crams everything and all that stuff.
yeah. Because then you got
And all
Because
that
then
stuff.
you
Because
like overtime and then
literally, NFL. Even though it's like the most, I think is the most complicated thing to set up a bubble, in my opinion. Not only because it's like teams, where they're gonna place, TV contract, like where is it gonna be aired on and everything like that too, and everything like that. Because there's like most of those airs is on only on two channels,
NBC.
and then Sunday night that's NBC. That's one channel right there. Thursday night is always one of the ones that show on Sunday, depending on how they do their contracts. It's been changing for the last 3 years to a different channel. And then of course Monday night's always on ESPN, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you keep the Monday night?
So when
Do you keep
wait,
the Monday?
when you said possibly having four divisions, did you mean north, south, east, west in
North
like
South.
each one of
So
the bubbles?
so you would have, say, like the North teams on one bubble on from each conference, the West from each conference on one bubble, the South from both conferences on one bubble, and then the North.
Oh, okay.
So like AFC
Yeah.
North, NFC North in one bubble, West, AFC, NFC West in one bubble, and all that stuff.
But then also, I feel like that limits the scheduling, because
That does limit, like a four would limit scheduling,
you would
but then again,
have 8 teams only in one bubble.
yeah. But then again, at the same time, it's like having 16 teams.
Then you got all the players.
They have the players, because like I said, it's a lot of players. Like it's a 53-man roster in the NFL. If I'm correct,
I don't even know, dude.
and all that stuff.
But
And it's like it's hard to figure out something like that. I think
especially for that big of a league,
it on
because
stuff.
53 is not even including the coaches, the staff.
Like your all that stuff. It's like you got your head coach, your offensive, defensive coordinator, your special teams coordinator, freaking strength and conditioning coach, and all that stuff. Your wide receivers coach, DBs coach, and all that stuff, and everything like that. It's like,
Yeah, got all these different coaches to do the water bottle.
It's like really
Water
it's like,
bottle coach, breathing
like-
coach.
it's like, how do you expect to get something done? It's like, I like the fact, because like I'm already feared of the fact that after what's happening with the MLB and all that stuff, how they're already postponing games, and already 3 teams have already have coaches testing positive and all that stuff. And it's just like, so it's like, and then the NFL is like, though it's like a weekly thing. You have traveling. There is traveling still. There's we don't know for the arenas in the football stadiums if how they're gonna do cleanups, or are they gonna do stadiums, like are they gonna do cleanups and all that stuff. We don't even know if they're gonna have fans. In all honesty, as from what I remember on an article, I think the Atlanta Falcons are doing a limited fan thing, and I'm like, what?
Why?
What? Like but they're trying to do the whole social distancing thing, so they're not gonna have like all the seats filled, but they're gonna be like spaced out and all that stuff. I'm like, no, nah, just don't do it at all. Just don't do it at all. You know,
Yeah,
and the freaking Atlanta Falcons stadium is really big stadium too, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty big stadium. I've seen it, not in person, but like
and all that stuff. So it's like just
yeah.
It mind boggles me of like how is this supposed to work when and especially like I said, there is nothing to like on a league's perspective, just in the league general, and all that stuff of like what are teams gonna do and what are teams gonna wear and all that stuff. What do you need to do in order to make sure to protect this stuff and everything? I mean, the only thing is like the freaking Raiders just announced that they're gonna have no fans for their new arena.
Yeah.
For their new stadium starts and all. Like that's the only thing I've heard and all that stuff from like a team, but from a team saying it and all that stuff. And I'm probably missing things out, but hey, I'm just getting back in the sports news because of everything that's been happening and starting all that stuff. I've been paying attention as much, but it's like everything else is more like
Kind of just information, yeah.
it's just information. It's just like is this gonna happen and all that stuff and everything. It's like art. It's like it's like it's like the thing is also it's like are the teams are your players are they gonna stay in the home cities and all that
Okay,
stuff
so
and everything?
it looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Jets, and the Giants and the Raiders have released that they will not have any fans until further notice. It says though. Um, that's all I see here. I might be missing a couple teams, but from what I've seen right now, those are the only ones that have officially released that they will not have any fans.
Well, the Jets and the Giants share a stadium, so
Yeah, they're like one team basically.
yeah,
uh,
and all that stuff.
yeah,
But it's
but
like at least it's like, but that's the thing though. It's like it's just those teams and all that stuff.
but then here's the confusing part. So I just read that from a news like an actual news site, but then this news site says that they will require a mask for the 2020 season if fans are allowed at Heinz Field. So I don't
See,
understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting articles.
and there's no straightforward guidelines.
Yeah, there's no just
Like
yeah
nothing. You would think something coming from the league at least and all that stuff.
yeah
But
like the
like be
league
like
stating
saying like you're if you playing coming this season, you need to have this for your stadiums, all this for your players. Make sure this is happening and all that stuff and everything like that. Like and all that stuff. Like if I'm correct, like not all players live in the home cities. If I'm correct,
no,
not a lot
not
of players
all. I
do.
don't believe so.
If not, they're like living. They probably live in like neighboring cities and all that stuff at least.
Yeah,
Or if like, but there's most likely probably some of them don't even live like within the state of that state at least, maybe, and all that stuff. And so it's like, what are you gonna do for those players when they have to like stay? Are they gonna stay in the home city? Are you allowing them to do something and all that stuff? Like, are you and
yeah.
everything? Like, it's like, what are you gonna do? And it's like, because like, just think, at least like these players have like someone to look up to in the league. Also, like they have a commissioner and all that stuff. College football though,
Dude, I don't even touch college football. I don't
oh,
even touch. I
college.
do not even touch
I
college.
caught up. I caught up. I've been catching up on that for the last couple days. Oh
I
boy.
watch it. I do not keep up with
Oh
it.
boy. Oh boy. Especially with this thing with the pandemic and everything. Oh. Ooh. So here's the thing. So as of now, there's no non-conference games from what we know so far. Big Five conferences. That is the SAC, the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the Pac-12, and all that stuff. So far, I think 3 of them have announced that they're doing conference-only games. It's 10 games, and they're playing within their own conference and all that stuff. There's no
What's the
bubble.
Big 12 doing?
The Big 12 is like Texas, Oklahoma.
No, I'm saying, well, no. What is it? No, I know what teams are in the Big 12. I'm
What?
saying,
Oh
have they announced anything?
no, Big 12
No.
hasn't,
Dang,
and all that stuff.
dang it.
And all that stuff. They have not. So the only ones has been the Pac-12, the SEC, and the ACC. And then the Big
Oh,
Ten.
okay.
The Big Ten has announced something, but I don't think they have scheduling yet set up yet. And all that stuff. But most of it's been like it's like 10 day. It's like 10 game conference. Conference you play only within the conference and all that stuff. There's no bubble format to it, so the teams are most likely going to have to be traveling and all that stuff. And hmm, 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 it looks more bleak than ever though. So SEC said they won't start their stuff until end of September. Normally, college football doesn't start; it starts this month.
Correct. What month? Yeah, correct.
It starts this month. The fact that they're
Yeah.
starting in September and
We're already August.
with a 10
Oh.
yeah, it's 10 with a 10 game week with a 10-week schedule. That's looking like beyond November and all that stuff. Get that done. Pac-12 said they're gonna plan on doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what about this? But then yesterday happened.
Whatever.
As of right now, it's a total of 400 Pac-12 players that are pretty much opting out of the whole
Opting out.
opting out, and those are players from every single team in that conference. It's a big article in the Player Tribune and all stuff. I'll put the link in the bio so that way if people want. Also, where they're just saying they're united, we're not playing unless changes are made and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not. And
I don't blame them.
What's even more crazy about it, it's not even just for like freaking COVID. It's also like for in social injustice and all that stuff and everything like that and all that stuff. Because like if nobody knows, players don't get paid in college and all that stuff. Oh, don't tell me I lost money. I think I lost money.
You get a. I've been. That's my dog. Hold on, let me let my dog.
Okay.
They get stickers though. You can get a sticker on your helmet.
Whoop-dee. They'll get a special COVID one for playing during the pandemic.
Yeah, they get a special mask sticker
and all that stuff and everything like that.
It's just like a sticker of the mask.
That's the other thing though. It's like these the big ones at least have like played out these plans, but they have not said anything about like for the pandemic. Like what are they doing? Are they gonna like are they gonna do something like to prevent this stuff? Like our coaches have to wear masks and all that stuff, or they're gonna try to do the whole try to keep social distancing? Because like football sidelines, just in general, whatever is college or NFL, they're all together and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. There's no 6 feet and everything like that. And everything like that. You don't see 6 feet in football at all. Like they're next to each other and everything like that.
They're like rubbing all up on each other.
Like if offense or the defense, if like did they have to do something, they huddle up to talk to the coordinator to see what went wrong or what went right and all that stuff and everything like that. And everything, like are they gonna?
There's no such thing as distancing.
There's no such thing as distancing in football and overall and all that stuff. But at the same time though, it's just like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up honest about this. I will not be upset if there's no college football and there's no NFL. I will not be upset.
Nah, me neither.
Will there be a majority? Yes, there will be. And all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, we don't need more cases on our hands.
Nope.
We don't need more cases, especially if it's coming from those two sports in general and all that stuff. And apparently, and here's the thing also, apparently most of these schools, like in these Power 5 conferences and all that stuff, and all that stuff, like I said, you're looking at Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona State, Arizona, Oregon, not USC, and I think somewhere in the SEC, like probably like LSU, maybe in Alabama and stuff. Apparently, they're opening schools. Like students are going
my school open
and all that stuff. Like you going back to school, like they're going back to campus and all that stuff and everything like that. And I'm just like,
oh, COVID's not real.
I'm like, what? Like I found that out through watching like I said when I was finding out about this whole college football stuff and everything like that. And I'm just like
researching it.
I'm like, wait, they're still allowing people to go to the campus? Like it's supposed to happen this month. Like kids going back to campus and all that stuff. Like I think USC, like out of the ones they mentioned, like USC is the one that's not doing that. They're doing all their stuff is online.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
And all that stuff, and I'm just like, what? Like how are you gonna?
COVID's not real.
It's like
COVID's not real.
Like that just makes playing college football even more scary and all that stuff. Because most likely you're gonna see these college football players, these student athletes, be around other students and all that stuff and everything like that. And it's just like, it's like, oh my god, like what is happening here? Like the fact that the freaking school itself is letting schools in. It's like you think these athletic directors would be like, or these
I'm not
commissioners,
gonna let my players.
or even the commissioners of these conferences, are be like, you need to protect your kids.
Yeah.
These are 18 to 22-year-olds and all that stuff.
Yes. These are adults.
These are like, they're adults, but at the same time, they're still learning in the world. Like, you're supposed to protect them in a way and all that stuff. Annie, could you imagine if, like, say, like, one of these big schools, like, all of a sudden, like, there's a
Has a breakout.
there's a surge, yeah, there's a breakout and all that stuff. Like, could you? Oh my god, and all that stuff, and and then, like, the epicenter of all this too. One of the states, the big states, Florida, where it has Florida State.
Oh, don't
Miami,
even get me started on Florida.
The University of Miami, the University of Miami, or those three big schools in particularly and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my! I don't. They didn't even say anything about, like, schools in general, like if they're going back into school and all that stuff. Well, this is Florida in general, but still, and all that stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it if Florida opened back up all their schools.
Oh my god! Imagine that. That's
I would not doubt it.
That's an.
If you live in Florida, I'm sorry, but I
Those are-
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's two ACCs and an SEC schools. Out of those are big conferences. Like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's gonna be crazy. Like I said, like college, like I said,
It's gonna be
football in
interesting for college football this season.
just for football in general.
Yeah, I guess you're
For
right.
football in
I
general,
feel
but
like
I
college
think
will be more
The worst.
interesting
It's the
on what they're gonna do.
It's gonna be like if you were expecting like a worst turnout, a worst case scenario, like a turnout, it's gonna happen in college
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and all that stuff. Because, like, here's the thing, college football doesn't have, like, in general, doesn't have nothing governed, like, overall in college football, all that stuff. Like, you have the commissioners for the conferences, you have your athletic directors for those schools and all that stuff, and then, like, of course, the coaches and the players. There's no top person for everything else in general. The NCAA doesn't count because that just doesn't count in general. They haven't, not even them, haven't even said anything themselves and all that stuff. The only good thing they've done since this pandemic was cancel March Madness. That's it. That's the only good thing they've done. They haven't said anything else with college football coming up and everything like that. Like, literally, it's like they've had football in general has had the longest time to prepare for this stuff and all that stuff.
They really have, because their season wasn't getting ready to start yet.
Like,
they were on off season.
Like, they could have of course, have a best case scenario situation. Like, they'll be able to play at least and all that stuff. But they should have had something prepared for, like, in case of what we're at right now and all that stuff, just in case and all that stuff. Like best case, we can play college football as well. Less best case, go conference only and all that stuff and everything like that. Bad case, possibly being maybe a bubble situation of sorts. I don't know, because college it's more difficult to do a bubble situation. Worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, I feel like college would be the hardest one to, not the worst, but the hardest one to do bubble situation.
Worst case scenario, cancel it and possibly do spring football next year. But then that's a whole other situation right there, because of, like, what players, like, top players and all that stuff in college that probably have a chance to get drafted in the NFL for next year's draft and all that stuff. Will they play for spring football? Or will they opt out and all that stuff and everything like that? So that way they can play that way they can get drafted. But then again, it's like, we don't know anything about the NFL. Like, are they going to cancel how that season's going to work? Or is there a chance that season might get canceled and all that stuff? And, like, are they going to do a draft next year and all that stuff to be safe, like, all that stuff? It's like, it's a lot of situations, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're chilling.
That's what it is. Like, they're chilling.
They're pretending it's not real.
They're literally like it's chilling. Like, like I said, NFL already has 43 players opting out. But Odell Beckham, one of the best receivers in the game, is thinking of opting out and all that stuff, everything. College football, you have 400 players from one major conference opting out, not playing this season, and all that stuff like that. And then there was one high prospect that was supposed to be, like, looking like have a chance to be drafted in the first round in the NFL. He's opting out. He plays at.
He opted
He's
or
opting.
not dropped out.
He's
Opted out.
opting out. He's opting out. He plays in West Virginia. Not West Virginia. Virginia Tech. I forgot what the position though was. And all that stuff. But at the same time though, it's like you can think of it as like, oh, college, no big deal and all that stuff. Like 400 players are probably like you can look at that list and you probably not know of them as a prospect and all that stuff. But that's not the point though. At the same time, like that is literally a lot of kids that are like concerned and all that stuff. It's the fact that they're concerned. It's the fact that they don't want nothing to happen and all that stuff. Like that's the reason to take that to notice and all that stuff. It's the fact that they're willing to like give up their season and all that stuff because I don't know they're like where they are like great like if they're like freshmen, seniors, juniors, and all that stuff and everything like that. It's like that's something that it's still something to pay attention to it and all that stuff.
Most definitely.
And all that stuff because it's like people like I said because like people can say it's like oh it's just that many kids and all that stuff and it's happening at that conference. It's not happening to other conferences and all that stuff. That's not the point. It's the point of that they're willing to do this to like give up their football season and all that stuff in order to protect everyone else and all that stuff.
Yeah, and protect themselves is more important.
And especially themselves and all that stuff. Because it's like, and that's something to take notice. All that stuff. Pay attention to and be like, oh, this serious.
Maybe we should look into this.
Yeah. And all that stuff. I mean,
and
like,
I just try to avoid it.
I mean, on the Pac-12 side and all that stuff, like the commissioner, the athletic directors and all that stuff, coaches, I hope they talk to these players and try to figure something out and all that stuff and everything. But at the same time, it's like you have to make sure they're paying attention closely and all.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and it's just like because like I said, players are what they're asking for mainly is like health and safety risk precautions and all that stuff with the pandemic. Not only that, but also like social injustice stuff and everything like that. Because hello, if nobody knows, most college student athletes are African American.
Most, yeah. To be honest,
most of them, at least.
Yeah.
Or a person of color, at least. I can say that.
Yeah.
A person of color and all that stuff. Like yes, you'll have the occasional white quarterback. Yes, and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, like, there's a majority of that. So the majority is a person of color.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're not if you think you're not taking it serious, like
except that one Mexican quarterback that doesn't. Anyways, I don't even know if I don't even keep up with college that much to say. Like to be honest, I only watch Texas games. I'm gonna lie with you. But are there any Mexican quarterbacks?
not that I know of.
I know there's players, but like I know there's like
Yeah.
I don't know if there's quarterbacks. I know there's players definitely, but I don't know. That's something interesting.
Like I said, I think with the upcoming league with like the NFL and college, out of those two stuff, college football is the most interesting one. More for the fact of it's like these are kids that don't get paid, that are most likely risking their lives, not just their lives, everyone else's
risking
lives,
their career,
and then all that stuff. They're risking, and then not just like pro prospect careers and all that stuff, but health and all that stuff and everything like that. Because like just for themselves and everyone else around them, whether it's friends or family or all, everything like that. And it's just like, are we looking at this like is everyone looking at this correctly now and all that stuff and everything like that, all that stuff? Because it's just like I get the fact that we look at sports as a way to get away from stuff like these kind of situations that we're in. But at the same time, are we also willing to be okay with the fact that these players, whether it be in college or the NFL or hell even in the MLB, because like we've already had people already opt in the MLB after like the whole these teams getting testing positive, players started opting out for the season and all that stuff too. And like, should people be upset about it? And I don't think so. I don't believe so. They should players not want to play, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, I don't believe so either.
Because this is a health risk and a big one.
So, yeah, a huge one. Yeah.
I mean, and then people can also say it's like, well, it just gives the other players, like college wise, particularly, like these other players an opportunity to play. But it's like at the same time, it's like, are you like I get that in like certain different scenarios, sort. But it's like at the same time, it's like me watching this kid how in like in a very very contact sport of all things too.
Yeah.
It's the gets tackled and it's the and then probably find out like next day or maybe or a couple of days later he gets tested positive for corona and all that stuff. It's oh,
Wow. There
oh.
goes his season.
Like there's gonna be a lot of things happen. There's like a lot of things gonna be talked about and all that stuff. Like should the
Yeah.
should the school continue playing? Does the conference still go and all that stuff? All these other schools are probably most likely gonna have to probably try to find a way to like test it and all that stuff. And that like oh yeah, that's the other thing. Testing. Like how is testing gonna work? Are you gonna
How are
have
you gonna get tested? Yeah.
are schools
Are
are
you
the
gonna
schools
test daily?
no, not even that. Are you gonna have the schools find the way to get the testing or are you gonna provide it with them for that way it's all consistent and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the option of having a bubble, that's not possible for college football. I don't think. I personally don't
Not at
believe
all.
that.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's like
That's not even in the options. That's
I mean, like for the Big Five, if they do it within their own conferences, likely, probably, but I don't think it's gonna happen. All that stuff. I think I lost Manny.
Big
Oh, there
Five.
we go.
Big Five, maybe. Big Five is your only option. Any other leagues other than the Big Five, no.
Well, I mean, the Ivy League canceled all sports. All.
Uh,
That's a
can
big
he
deal.
though?
Honestly, it's a big deal.
Because what? How many teams?
The Ivy League's a big deal.
Yeah.
Ivy League's a big deal. Those are
Yeah, but how many
they're
how
very
many teams you got in that league?
Princeton, Harvard. I only know two right now. I don't know but here's the thing about the Ivy League though. Like they're oops, my bad. There we go.
What happened?
They're like my Windows, my start menu popped up.
Oh,
But they're very smart people. And the fact that's like they were willing to because they did this back in July.
definitely.
They did this back in July and all that stuff. And then like when basketball season, when it was getting close to that, they canceled everything too. They canceled all their stuff that the rest of the season and the tournament
Yeah.
that they do. I was like, it's a big deal. Like you have to look at that as a big deal.
Yeah.
They have 8 teams.
Oh, definitely.
They have 8.
Eight
And that is
teams.
Brown. That is Brown.
Yeah, I
Brown,
can see
Columbia,
them.
Cornell,
I can see them
Dartmouth,
doing a bubble.
Harvard, Pennsylvania, Princeton, Yale. So it's a big. Like I said, it's a. I think for them to having an 8.
It's a pretty big deal.
An 18 conference, an 18 conference is a big deal. All that stuff. The fact that you're willing to drop all this, all that stuff and everything. And you do it before everybody else, for every other conference, all that stuff. Especially the Big Five, who 3 of them are like we're doing conference only games, and later in the soon, somewhat and all that stuff. And it's just like you take notice to that because especially since Ivy League is a bunch of smart people.
Yeah.
I
mean, you got Princeton and Harvard.
Like
I think, isn't Duke in it too?
No,
Duke's not in it.
Duke's with the ACC.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I feel like Duke's an Ivy League also though. I feel like or should be.
Nah.
I feel like isn't Duke pretty smart?
They're not.
I thought Duke was like pretty smart.
They're not Ivy smart. In my opinion. They just have a really good basketball.
Oh, definitely. Like there's no denying that they have a good basketball team. I mean, do they let people down sometimes? Yes. Tell me that.
They hurt you, man? They hurt you?
I'm just gonna say, I might have had a fantasy schedule set up, and they might have costed me, but
betting on students. Oh my God, man.
There was no money involved. Yeah, not just favors. Anyways, Yeah, that's even worse than money. But they do have a good basketball team. But I don't know. I feel like Duke's because isn't it like really prestigious to get into Duke, right? Or was it?
I don't.
I feel like
I
it
never
was.
thought of it like that. I mean, unless you're a very talented basketball player and stuff like in the Duke. But I never thought of like trying to like if you like attempt like try to go to like so smart on stuff.
Yeah,
Unless it's like one of the Ivy Leagues.
I feel like you can. Yeah. Well, it's definitely. I feel like name wise,
It's
like
a big school.
Harvard,
It's a prestigious school, but I don't think it's like it's on the level of an Ivy school.
Ivy League. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's still pretty prestigious, in my opinion. Like I
No,
wouldn't
no, no.
really
I get what you're
do.
saying by like it being prestigious. I get that. I get that. But I don't think it's Ivy League prestigious. That's a whole other level. So
Yeah, but and then I think there's isn't there like there's most likely a requirement to be like an Ivy school classified that we don't know,
oh, here we go.
or I don't know.
So I have this thing. So back to the Pac-12 thing with the schools and all that stuff, and the players and all that stuff. They actually had like the demands are up on this article too. But one of them was health and safety protections, of course, with COVID-19 and everything like that. Allowed an option not to play during the pandemic without losing athletics eligibility or spot on a team roster. Prohibit/void COVID-19 agreements that waive liability. Mandatory safety standards, including COVID-19 measures. Protect all sports, all that serve and all that stuff with excessive expenditures and all that stuff, such as like administrators, coaches to voluntary drastic reduce excessive pay and performance/academic bonuses, end lavish facility expenditures and use endowment for all sports. For example, we have an example of that one. Stanford University should reinstate all sports discontinued by tapping into their oh 27.7 billion endowment. Manny, that's a lot of
You know?
money. Well, we did also forget. College gets a lot of money. Colleges get a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So,
With the way that it costs,
yeah.
it's
So third thing on the demand: end racial injustice in college sports and society. Um, First one says form a permanent civic engagement task force made of our leaders, experts of our choice, and university conference administrators to address outstanding issues such as racial injustice, college sports, and in society. Uh, Second one is in partnership with the Pac-12, 2% of conference revenue should be directed by players to support financial aid for low-income Black students, develop programs for college athletes on campus, form annual Pac-12 Black College Athlete Summits with three of at least three athletes of our choice from every. Okay. Uh, and then the fourth one is economic freedom equity, such as medical expenses, likeness rights, and all that stuff. That's always a big one.
yeah.
Fair market pay rights and freedoms. Uh, Example for that one is sports conference revenue evenly among athletes in their respective sports, not just football, all sports, and all that stuff.
Now, why can't uh college football players get paid? Like, what's the whole deal against that?
The dumb excuse is scholarships.
Oh, okay. Well, that okay. I can see that then.
The dumb excuse is scholarships.
They're like
But then again, that doesn't
big
cover. It doesn't cover. It only covers like um.
saying that
You're
they're
hold on. You're cutting
getting
off.
paid already.
You're cutting off a lot.
I'm not even talking.
No, you were a bit when you were.
Oh, I wasn't talking.
Oh, it sounded like you were. It was like blah blah blah.
Oh,
Uh, but pretty much like that stuff. As
oh,
much as I don't know, in all honesty, it's like I think it just covers like room and board and all that stuff, tuition fees and all that stuff. Nothing like say like outside stuff, all that stuff. Like say, I don't think it does like covers like out food, phone bills and stuff like that,
yeah,
and everything like that. Like stuff like you would need, like stuff like other essential things you would need.
yeah, like stuff that you need to like continue.
See right now how you're talking
Like,
right now. It's like cutting off.
to keep living.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
It's
Or like
cutting out.
yeah, that's cutting off. Or like say if like you're not even living in this
Um,
campus.
they're work. It's because they're working on our internet line close to our house.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, it's true
if
actually.
if if you didn't hear that, apparently the internet
Because that
provider outside
does.
man is working on stuff.
I know there's certain scholarships that like if you don't live in campus, you get less money or something like that.
Exactly, and that's the other thing. See, that's the other thing too. Is like you're getting when you recruit these kids, they're not from within the state. They're most likely out of state. Most of these kids.
Yeah.
Taxes are like different in each state too. Losing you, Manny. No. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening to the audio, too, we're having some audio issues right now. I've lost Manny. This is not good, not good at all. This is what happens when you have a two-man squad running the podcast right now. Yeah, and all that stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen. Uh, I'm hoping he responds back to me and everything like that, or do something to come back to the podcast and everything like that. Um, this is everything I'm bringing up. But what, anyways, but those are you are listening and all that stuff. I think I got him back. I think I got him back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm back. Okay.
Sorta. But anyways, yeah. Uh, but yeah,
Okay. So.
it's just like I said, this stuff is. I mean, hey, life as a college athlete is not a blessing, not a good thing. Like, unless you got full ride and like your parents pay for it. Any have lost any again. But what I was gonna say previously was like, for those who are listening or watching this on YouTube, um, drop a comment. See how you feel about all this how you feel about all this college football stuff with COVID-19 and all that stuff, or just any sport in general, all that stuff. Do you think the other three leagues that do the bubble treatment was a good thing for them and all that stuff? Do you think baseball should have gone with the bubble treatment and all that stuff? Should the NFL do a bubble and all that stuff, or what should they do in general? It's a tough world right now. We live in as much as we rely on sports to get rid of our stuff. We don't know. We don't know what our two biggest ones are gonna look like. It's very, 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 very. I have nothing set up on a one man. No. So you have Manny right here, right now, moment, image, or other stuff. But I think we're just gonna end it here and all that stuff. Um, we and all that st- oh wait, oh, I lost him and all that stuff. And yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up and everything. Wait, oh, no, no, hey, oh my God! Audio listeners, it kept flicking
Hello.
on and off. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is.
Okay. Sorry, there our internet's someone ran into a pole over here by our internet.
Oh my gosh.
Like the main internet thing, like in our area, someone ran into it, so it's
It's just crazy.
bad right now. Yeah.
You should just wrap it.
You want to wrap it? Okay. Well, Thanks for listening, guys. If you stayed with us, thank you actually very much. We're having a lot of technical difficulties today. It's only us two, but we hope let you we're able to let you get away from your day and have a good time. If you're listening from before, thank you for coming back. If you're new, we hope you like us, and stay with us. We post every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Um, and yeah, have a good day. This is me, your host for this week, signing off, Manny, and my
Also,
co-host.
also, if you're on the
Oh yeah, also.
if you're listening, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. So that way, and turn on that notification bell, so that way you know when our stuff goes live. We always premiere them, so how that works is when it goes up, there's like a 2 minute countdown, and the episode starts and all that stuff. You can always watch it later if you don't want to do the premiere thing, but yeah, but it's also nice to get that like, turn on the notification, drop those comments. It helps us out for discoverability on YouTube and everything like that. If you happen to be listening to any of our audio services, would that be Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, click on that follow button also, so that way you know also when new episodes go up also and everything like that too. So, um, did I lose Manny again?
No, I'm right here.
Okay,
Can
cool.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lie.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. Signing off. This is Manny and Ricky.
Yo,
Hope you have a good day.
hate us.
Bye.